I woke up yesterday at 3 o'clock in the morning wondering where my dog was, because he always sleeps right up against my legs. I sat up in the pitch black, feeling around the duvet, and realized the bed was empty. My heart just stopped. I got up, walked into the hallway, and saw a sliver of light coming from under the guest room door. I pushed it open, and there was my ex-boyfriend, the man I was supposed to be done with, sitting on the edge of the bed, illuminated by the glow of my iPhone screen, scrolling through my saved passwords. Honey, grab the biggest glass of wine you can find. I'm talking the bottle. Just bring the whole bottle, because the level of audacity, toxicity, and straight up criminal behavior I am about to spill is gonna make your blood pressure spike. You think you know crazy? You think you've seen bad breakups? You have no idea. Let me tell you how we got to this nightmare scenario. It all started with that gut feeling. You know the one I'm talking about? That little knot in your stomach that tells you something is wrong even when everything looks fine on the surface? I've been with Marcus for 5 years, 5 years of my life. We live together, we have a lease together, we have a dog together. On paper, we were solid, but lately, the vibes were rancid. He was distant, guarding his phone like it was the nuclear codes, just acting shady. So, I did what any rational, slightly paranoid woman in 2024 would do. I went digital detective. I found a post about him on one of those local "Are we dating the same guy" groups on Facebook. Now, if you aren't familiar with these groups, they are absolute chaos, but they are God's work. Women post pictures of men to verify if they are single or safe. I'm scrolling, my thumb is trembling, and I see his face. A picture from our vacation cropped so I'm not in it. And the comments? Girl. The comments were a mess. There were multiple women saying things like, "Oh, I matched with him on Hinge," or "Yeah, we grabbed drinks last week." I stared at my screen until my eyes burned. I couldn't tell if these dates were from before we got together 5 years ago, or if they were from, like, last Tuesday. I was paralyzed. I couldn't just ask him because if I was wrong, I look crazy. But if I'm right, so I made a burner account. I commented anonymously. My heart was hammering against my ribs so hard I thought I'd pass out. I typed, "Hey, just curious, has anyone talked to or hooked up with him recently, like in the last month?" I waited 1 hour, 2 hours. It felt like a lifetime. Then a notification pops up. A girl, let's call her Tiffany, replies. She says, "Yeah, I did. Why? Did you? Do you have tea on him?" My stomach dropped through the floor. I felt like I was going to throw up. I knew I should have just said, "I'm his girlfriend of 5 years, you home wrecker." But I was so embarrassed. I was humiliated. I didn't want to admit that I was the clown sitting at home while he was out playing the field, and I was scared that if I revealed who I was, she would clam up. So I lied. I played the game. I replied, "He told me not to talk to or sleep with anyone else and that he wouldn't either, but we haven't hooked up yet. Just checking." Tiffany responds immediately. "Girl, run." He said the exact same thing to me. I'm reading this, tears streaming down my face, shaking in my living room. I typed back, "When did you last see him?" And then silence. No response. I refreshed the page. Nothing. I refreshed again. 10 minutes later, the front door slams open. Marcus comes storming in like a hurricane. He is furious. I'm talking red-faced, veins popping, slamming the door so hard the pictures on the wall rattled. He's stomping around the apartment, giving me these dirty, hateful looks. But, and this is the kicker, he won't say a word to me. He's just huffing and puffing, slamming cabinet doors, aggressive dishwashing. You know the vibe. I knew. I knew right then and there. He saw the post. I went back to the Facebook group on my phone, hiding in the bathroom. Tiffany's comments? Gone. Deleted. He must have texted her. He must have realized the anonymous commenter sounded a little too much like his suspicious girlfriend called Tiffany and told her to scrub the evidence, so I'm sitting there realizing my boyfriend of 5 years is not only cheating, but he's actively coordinating a cover up in real time. If you are already shook by the level of gaslighting happening here, hit that like button, because honey, I haven't even gotten to the part where I feared for my life yet, so I'm stuck. We are on a lease for another 5 months. I can't afford to break it alone. I asked Reddit what to do, and the advice was unanimous. Get out. Everyone said, "He knows you know. He's dangerous. Break up with him." I confronted him. I didn't wait. I walked out of that bathroom and I said, "I know about Tiffany." He tried to deny it at first, doing that classic deflection thing. "You're crazy. You're invading my privacy. Why are you stalking me?" But I had the screenshots before she deleted them. Eventually, he cracked, but not in a "I'm so sorry I love you" way. In a "I'm sorry I got caught" way. He admitted that Tiffany sent him a screenshot of my anonymous comment. He claimed he was just upset that random people were in his business. But then the truth trickled out. It wasn't just texting. He admitted, with a straight face, mind you, that he brought Tiffany to our apartment while I was visiting my mom the week prior. They slept in my bed, on my sheets. And you want to know his excuse? You want to know what this man had the audacity to say to my face? He said, "Well, if you had come home when you said you were going to, it wouldn't have happened. You stayed at your mom's 2 extra days because we were fighting. You made me do this." I looked at him and I felt absolutely nothing but disgust. The love? Gone. Evaporated. I told him, "We are done. We are absolutely over." He begged for a few days, crying, pleading, the whole performance. But when he realized I wasn't going to sleep with him anymore, the switch flipped. He got cold. He got mean. Since we couldn't break the lease without dropping thousands of dollars we didn't have, we decided to be roommates. Separate bedrooms. I took the master, he took the guest room. I thought, okay, 5 months, I can do 5 months. I'll just lock my door and keep my head down. I was so naive. We get to the night in question. It's been about 2 weeks of this roommate situation. It's tense, it's awkward, but I thought I was safe. I went to sleep early. My dog Buster always sleeps with me. He's my alarm system. I passed out hard, probably from the emotional exhaustion of living with a sociopath. I woke up at 3:05 a.m. It was dead silent. I reached down to pet Buster, and he wasn't there. Instantly, I was wide awake. Buster never leaves the room at night. I realized the bedroom door, which I thought I had latched, was slightly ajar. I got up, heart pounding in my ears. I crept into the hallway. The light was on in the guest room, Marcus's room. I pushed the door open. There was Marcus, sitting on his bed. Buster was on the floor, sniffing around, which is why I heard him. But Marcus was holding my iPhone. He looked up at me and his eyes were wide, like a deer in headlights, but also angry. I snatched the phone out of his hand. "What the hell are you doing?" I screamed. "Why do you have my phone?" He just shrugged, super casual, like he wasn't caught doing something totally psycho. "I just wanted to check something," he mumbled. I looked at the screen. It wasn't on texts, it wasn't on photos, it was on my settings, specifically passwords and security. I looked at the screen time history right there in front of him. He had been on my phone for 30 minutes. He had been scrolling through my saved passwords for my email, my social media, my bank accounts. I felt cold all over. This wasn't just cheating anymore. This was calculated. This was malicious. I backed out of the room, grabbed the dog, and locked myself in the master bedroom. I pushed the dresser in front of the door. I didn't sleep the rest of the night. I realized he was trying to get into my accounts, maybe to spy on me, maybe to steal money, maybe to delete the evidence of his cheating that I had saved on the cloud. I don't know, and honestly, I don't want to find out. The next morning, which was today, I packed a bag. I called my mom. I told her everything. I said, "I don't care about the money. I need a loan. I need to break this lease." Because you can handle a cheater, you can handle a liar, but someone who creeps into your room while you're sleeping, steals your phone, and tries to hack your life, that is a predator. I'm currently at my mom's house. I've changed every single password I own. I'm talking email, bank, Netflix, everything. I even set up two-factor authentication on apps I didn't know had it. I'm waiting on STD test results, which is just the cherry on top of this garbage sundae. Make sure you're subscribed because the update I'm about to drop in a few weeks regarding the legal action I'm taking against him is going to make you scream. I'm not letting him get away with this. But speaking of trash behavior and people trying to drag you into their mess, let me tell you about the situation with my so-called best friend. Because apparently, betrayal is just the theme of my life right now. So, I have this friend, let's call her Jessica. We've been friends for over a decade. We went through college together, were bridesmaids at each other's weddings, the whole 9 yards. I thought she was a good person. I was wrong. Jessica has been married to a guy named Dave for 3 years. Dave is a golden retriever in human form. Just a sweet, hard-working guy who worships the ground she walks on. About 6 months ago, Jessica started acting weird, giddy, secretive. Finally, over drinks, she drops the bomb. She's sleeping with a coworker. I told her, "Jessica, stop. You need to tell Dave or you need to end it. This is gross." She brushed me off, calling me a prude. But then last week she crossed a line that I cannot come back from. She calls me up on a Thursday and says, "Hey, I need a huge favor. I'm going away for the weekend with coworker's name. I told Dave I'm staying at your place for a girls' weekend, so if he calls or texts, can you just cover for me? I sat there on the phone, stunned. It's one thing to ruin your own life. It's another thing to try and make me an accessory to the crime. I said, absolutely not. You are not using my house as an alibi. I am not lying to Dave. She flipped out. She started screaming, "You're judging me! You're supposed to be my best friend. You're abandoning me when I need you most." Can you believe the audacity? Abandoning her? Honey, you are abandoning your husband to go play house with Chad from accounting. She's been blasting my phone ever since, telling our mutual friends that I'm unsupportive and mean. My husband told me to cut her off entirely. He said, if she can do that to Dave, she'll do it to you. And you know what? He's right. I texted her this morning. I'm not covering for you. And if you don't tell Dave, I might. Is that messy? Yes. Do I care? No. Because if I was Dave, I would want to know. And since we are on the topic of exposing liars, let's talk about the dating scene. Because if you think marriage is hard, try dating in your 30s. It is a dumpster fire inside a train wreck. I have a friend, let's call her Lena, who just went through something that belongs in a Netflix documentary. Lena's in her early 30s, fresh out of a 10-year engagement. She's sweet, works from home, basically a hermit. She finally downloads Tinder. She matches with this guy, Ethan. Ethan seems perfect. No social media, which he claims is because of his job. He says he's a veteran, an Army Ranger. He wears the hoodie, has the stories, talks about his brothers in the service. They hit it off. Great chemistry. But after a few weeks, Lena notices something. They always hang out at her place, never his. She finally puts her foot down. She says, Ethan, next time we go to your place, I want to see where you live. Ethan gets weird. He hesitates and says, well, those are all certainly words. Who says that? What does that even mean? Lena's alarm bells start ringing. She gathers the girls, me included, and we go full FBI mode. We have his phone number, his first name, and a blurry photo of his car license plate Lena took when he wasn't looking. We found him. And oh boy, did we find him. Ethan isn't single. Ethan is married, happily married. We found his wife's Facebook. Let's call her Sarah. Sarah posts constantly. Christmas photos in matching pajamas, anniversary tributes, love of my life captions. They have 6 kids. 6! But here is the darkest part. We dug a little deeper into Sarah's profile. Her first husband died in Afghanistan. He was an actual Army Ranger. Ethan? Ethan never served a day in his life. We had a friend run his name. Nothing. This man was not only cheating on his wife with 6 kids at home, but he was stealing the valor of her dead first husband to pick up women. He was literally cosplaying as the hero her late husband was. It is sick. Lena was furious. She drafted a message to Sarah. She included screenshots of his Tinder profile, the texts, the dates, everything. She sent it. Ethan vanished. His Tinder location showed him leaving the state a day later. Sarah's social media went dark. She scrubbed every photo of him. Lena felt guilty for blowing up a family. But I told her, you didn't blow up the family. He planted the bomb. You just showed her the timer was ticking. One last story before I let you go, because this one is for the military folks, and it is juicy. This guy, Sergeant Mike, posted his story, and I have to share it because the karma is instant. Mike is active duty. He's divorced from his ex-wife, Karen, because of course she acts like a Karen. The divorce was nasty. She was abusive, but they are trying to co-parent their 2 kids. Mike goes out to the field for training. He comes back, and Karen asks him to watch the kids so she can go on a date. Mike is a good dad, so he says sure. The next day, he asks her how the date went. She's gushing. Oh, he's amazing. He's so successful. He's an officer. Mike asks for a name. She shows him a picture. Mike's stomach drops. The man Karen is dating is Mike's company commander, his boss, the CO. Now, in the military, there are strict rules. An officer dating the ex-wife of a subordinate in his own unit, that is a massive conflict of interest. It's messy, it's inappropriate, and honestly, it's just weird. Mike wrestled with it, but he decided he had to say something. He walks into the CO's office. Sir, do you have a minute? The CO says, sure, Sergeant. What's up? Mike says, Sir, a little birdie told me you went on a date with Karen. Is that true? The CO gets defensive immediately. Why are you poking in my personal life? That's unprofessional. Mike drops the hammer. Sir, the reason I'm asking is, that's my ex-wife, the mother of my children, and if you're going to date her, I need to request a transfer immediately because this is wildly inappropriate. The CO turned 40 shades of green. He looked like he was going to vomit. He stammered, I I didn't know. I didn't know she had kids. I didn't know she was your ex. He swore he would end it immediately. 2 hours later, Mike's phone blows up. It's Karen. She is screaming. What did you do? You ruined my relationship. You're jealous. You're trying to control me? Mike just laughed. I didn't do anything, Karen. I just informed my boss that he was dating his employee's ex-wife. He made the choice. She was trying to trade up to an officer, and she crashed and burned. Her family is calling Mike an asshole, saying he should have let her be happy. But come on, you don't date your ex-husband's boss. That is rule number 1 of don't be a messy human being. So, what have we learned today, friends? If your gut says he's cheating, check the Facebook groups. The girls always know. If your best friend asks you to lie to her husband, she's not your best friend. She's an accomplice looking for an alibi. Always check the property records before you catch feelings. And never ever date your ex's boss unless you want your life to implode. I'm going to go pour another glass and change my passwords one more time just to be safe. Now, I have a question for you all in the comments. If you were in my shoes with the phone hacking situation, if you woke up and found your ex going through your passwords at 3 a.m., would you have called the police right then and there? Or did I do the right thing by just packing up and leaving? Let me know because I'm still second guessing myself. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay messy.